in the course of the last 7 days or thereabouts. I'm just one person. I'm just representing the Newsroom of Nigeria Info because it is a group work. Yes. Our producer today, Ufuoma Egbamuno, is in the building. She's also a part of the Newsroom. That big head that calls himself Emmanuel Onwuka decided to not be around, unavoidably absent. But hey, the show must go on because I've got someone right here to do the business. And today on the show, there's a lot to talk about. Kemi has been in the news. She's been in the news. She's been talking. And it has got a lot of Nigerians talking. But more importantly, if I might add that, is the fact that last week on the 9th and on the 10th were two very important days. One had to do with anti-corruption. The other had to do with human rights. That will get us also talking on the show. And of course, on the Lagos segment, a big deal took place over the weekend, Saturday to be precise. I'm sure if you've been tuned into Nigeria Info, you must have heard that news since the morning. You must have seen it in almost all the papers since yesterday. The Lagos Medipark, the groundbreaking ceremony took place over the weekend, Saturday to be precise. And of course, world-class medical facility, which also will be a health care hub where you have different things. Number 1 to 9, Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Just opposite the military hospital. Yeah, it is going to, hopefully in the next 2 years, you will see something huge right there. We'll talk about that later on the show. But quickly, guys, before I get into the the big issue for the first part of the show, which is the International Anti-Corruption Day and of course the International Day for Human Rights, I will quickly give my 2 cents about the conversation that has been going on, that involves someone with Nigerian roots, but who is the leader of the Conservative Party out there in the United Kingdom. Kemi Badenoch. She's been talking. But I'll talk about 2 things. First things first, I'll talk about her comments, which I found denigrating, so to speak, where she said she's from a part of the country and she has got nothing to do with another part of the country. Now, I do know that most Nigerians, you could argue, Nigeria is a bit of a contraption. It's someone sat down somewhere and decided that, you know what, for administrative purposes, let's put all these people together. Nupe, Hausa, Fulani, Tiv, Ibibio, Yoruba, Igbo, Kwale. Is there a tribe like Kwale? No, it's actually Kwani, yes. Ishakiri, Isoko Urobo, Efik. Put everybody together, lump them up and give it one name. And they called it Nigeria. So I can understand when some of us Nigerians first identify with what part of the country we are from before we are Nigerians. I think that's understandable. I'm not going to have much queries with it. But if you do it in such a way where you assume or you stereotype people from other places, then I think I have a problem with it. And unfortunately, in Nigeria, we do a lot of stereotyping. I say this all the time. For most of us who grew up in Lagos or the Southwest, and for one reason or the other have not had anything to do outside of these vicinity, we see people across the Niger with a different toga. Just the same way many of us here in down south, once you hear someone is Hausa or Fulani, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, they're all terrorists. See, let's say the way it is. I know a lot of us think that way. In fact, some of us say it. And it's quite not great. Or we believe that, oh, there's a section of people from a section of the country who are the ones that go about with illicit drug trade. We stereotype ourselves, in these ways. And I honestly do not think that if we want to get better as a country, we would have to move away from that manner of thinking, because it's not going to help us. That's all I'm going to say about her comments about being Yoruba and having nothing to do with Northerners. But the second comment, which has generated quite a number of reactions, is a comment about the police. Now, for those of you who listen to me, every time I come on air, the one thing I'm sure you must have noticed is I'm not quite diplomatic. I like to say things the way they are. I know some people get angry or it annoys some people, but sometimes I honestly don't care. I like to say things the way they are. And whatever Kemi Badenoch said about the Nigerian police force, they did it and they did more. Because here's the honest truth. You and I, everyone who is tuned into the broadcast right now, must have had a brother, a sister, an uncle, a cousin, a friend who has had one bitter taste of the Nigeria police force. Oh yes, I'm lumping them all together. I'm sorry, this is not a question of, there are some... No, it's not a question of bad eggs. I could argue that the number of people with bad intentions who give the Nigeria police bad name are more in the police force, I could argue that, than the supposed good ones. Sometimes a lot of us believe that the only difference between some personnel of the Nigeria police force and the armed robbers is that one is state sanctioned. We pay for the state sanctioned robbery. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So I've heard quite a number of people. In fact, what actually riled me, I wrote that news myself. My memory serves me right. I wrote it when the Vice President, Ibrahim Shetima, was calling out Kemi for the comments she made, and all of that. And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, call her out. You are the Vice President. Were you not the same person who was governor of Borno State when the whole Chibok girls thing happened? And we ended up playing politics with it. And the lives of those girls more or less changed forever. Were you not the same person? It's quite easy to sit in a 21 billion naira mansion that was renovated and call out someone in the UK when you've not looked yourself in the eyes. Oh, how about the emergency Nigerian lovers? That one is one that gets on my nerves almost every time. All of a sudden, people... There's a section of people who now love Nigeria more than the rest of us. And they started loving Nigeria since 2015. But you don't even need to ask. Go look at their timelines on social media before 2015. The kinds of things they said about Nigeria, either online or other places. Because they probably did not like the government in power at the time. But since 2015 to 2024, they've become, emergency Nigerian lovers, such that anybody that says anything wrong about Nigeria, you attack the person without looking critically at the message. Did Kemi Badenoch did she have ulterior motives or political considerations? Was she possibly pandering? Yeah, you could argue all of that. But that doesn't concern me. She's got Nigerian roots. She's from Britain, yeah? If the Conservatives win the next election or the next election in the UK, she becomes Prime Minister, yeah? She's not going to be President of Nigeria anytime soon. So I honestly don't care too much about the politics behind. But I care about the fact that what she said about the Nigerian police is true and more 1001 times. Because we are all witnesses, all of us, everybody listening to me right now, you have at one time or the other, either directly or indirectly, faced, what am I even saying? It's going to be 25th of December very soon, yeah? Remember, 25th of December last year, Christmas Day, a police officer brought out his gun and shot someone in broad daylight at Jaye. Have we forgotten? What did you say? Oh, 2022. Okay, 2 years ago. That's the one we know. Let's not talk about the ones that they will open your boot, put weed inside, and frame you. Let's not talk about the ones that they will kill you and then put guns on your body and say you're an armed robber. We've seen those stories. We've heard those stories. So yes, miss me with the political agenda that Kemi was trying. I don't care about it. I care about the fact that whatever she said about the Nigerian police force, they have done it either to you or to me or to your brother or to your sister. And there's no amount of PR that's going to change that. The question would be, what are we doing? It ties me into the question of human rights. Last week, Thursday, was it Wednesday? The world, 10th of December, the world celebrated International Human Rights Day. And the accusations that have been leveled against the Nigerian military, in fact, security personnel as a whole, they would continue to. I'm even going far. This year alone, we heard about the issue in Delta State, Ufuoma community. 2 leaders of that community have died in military detention. At least until I came to this studio, I've not heard the Nigerian military say anything about that. We don't know the circumstances with which those deaths occurred. It's more than a week now, or just about a week. It happened last week. So when a human rights group comes out and say the Nigerian military, I think it was Amnesty International who accused the military last week of killing at least 1,000 people or thereabout, they have not responded to that accusation. Till today, the Nigerian military has not told us how he died. But we're here. But when somebody outside says it, some of us who are emergency Nigerian lovers just wake up and, because we now love Nigeria. Since 2015, we're now loving Nigeria more. Anyway, we're not going to move away from this human rights because it's an issue. And a country or a state that law and order doesn't work, I honestly have no idea how that state is going to make progress. Because it feels like it's the highest bidder. Once you have the money, the connection, it feels like you can get up about anything done in Nigeria. That's what it feels like. And talking about also last week, it was International Anti-Corruption Day. I chuckle about that. I was at an event, organized by Heather, and there was a whole lot of talk that day. The former chairman of the Human Rights Commission, Chido Dinkalu, was keynote speaker. We had senior advocate of Nigeria, Fumi Falana, and all through the 2 hours or thereabout I stayed at that event, I felt slightly sorry for my country. Because we'll talk every December 9th about anti-corruption, But it's the same last week that a former governor who is accused of fraud to the tune of about 110 billion naira got, bail for 500 million. So it just feels like, no worry. Thief plenty money. Then you feel use chicken change inside. Sort yourself out. Patakata, they'll keep you for court. 5 years, 10 years. Last. You do plea bargain. Because we've seen a lot of that. The high profile cases, even the ones that went to jail and came out. What happened under President Muhammadu Buhari? He granted them pardon. He did. 2 governors who went to jail for stealing you and I, the money that is supposed to be for you and I, for our health, for our education, for everything that we're supposed to do. What happened? They came out, and because of politics, the president pardoned them. So meaning they have a clean slate. Abi, they can as well come back and contest again if they want to. I'm sure they were never going to. But you get the point. But if Ufuoma Egbamuno goes to Alabarago and steals one goat, they will put tire in my neck. Because that's what we usually do, jungle justice. But the high and mighty will get away with blue murder, and because they have connections either with the police, allegedly, or either with the courts, they find ways to get out of all of this mess. Anyway, let's take a listen to Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Fumi Falana, who is advocating for the establishment of a special anti-corruption court. Let's take a listen to her.
Against corruption, and today being the International Anti-Corruption Day, it's a very good time to remind Nigerians and of course the whole world the vice of corruption and the consequences. And so this is why we're here today. The reason these organizers have put this together is to sensitize the youth to the need to fight corruption in the country. And remembering that the youth is a very important sector of the society. They are the energetic sector of the society, very resilient, and of course, the tomorrow of our society. So there is therefore the need to carry them along in this advocacy, in this fight against corruption.
Yes, there's the need to actually carry the young people along. I totally agree with Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Fumi Falana, speaking right there at the header event last week to, of course, mark the anti-corruption day, December 9th. The reason is very simple. The young people are the ones who grow up to become adults and elderly ones in the nearest future. I don't know if we'll be able to do that with the current young people, because it already feels like we've lost a large chunk of them because they've seen the waywardness, so to speak. No, that's not the word I wanted to use. They've seen the anyhowness that we behave, how we behave in the country, either from the top or from the bottom. It just feels like even the average Nigerian who is at the bottom right now is just waiting for his or her own opportunity to get to the top and start oppressing other people or dip their hands into state finances. Anyway, I hope, like Fumi Falana SAN said, we can catch the young ones so that the country can have a better future. Because that's what it is. We want a situation where if Ufuoma Egbamuno and his generation, because we'll definitely die, we're not going to live forever. When we leave, we hope that Nigeria is a place people can reckon with and not a place known for corruption. Just today, the news broke that EFCC arrested 792 people. Okay, they are still innocent until proven guilty, yeah? But just the thought of it, somewhere in VI here, not far from our office, allegedly, foreigners train Nigerians on how to do internet scam and romance. How to swindle people using romance as the, what's it called? And then they use Nigerian identities. That's what the FCC told us today. It all boils down to, this get-rich-quick mentality that we've had at least over the last 30, 35, 40 years. Some older will say it's even more than that. Probably started after the First Republic or just around that First Republic, as soon as we got independence. It's sad. And I hope, that the people who lead this country, from the president to the National Assembly members to the state governors, that we can one day have a rethink. Because this country is not going to get better anytime soon if we keep at the nonsensical nonsense we're doing. That will be my cue to move on to the second segment of the show. And it is brought to you courtesy of the Lagos State Government. Like I did tell you in my intro, over the weekend, it was a big deal, a big significant milestone called the Lagos Medipark. Now, before I get into all of it, let me tell you a little story. So about a month ago, I was in Doha for a health conference, and very close to the venue where the event was being held. So the event is held in a place that looks like a city. So you have loads of, it's a city on its own, so to speak, a mini city inside of Doha. It's called Sidra. Yes, that's the name of the hospital. What actually pricked my interest was that the CEO, if that's her title, the person who runs the hospital has Nigerian roots. In fact, I think she is actually related to the president or comes from the president's family. She has a Tinubu in her name. And that pricked my interest, like, whoa. All the way, actually not from Nigeria. I think she's been living in the US for a very long time now. And so she moved from the US to Doha. And she's if you see this hospital, Yvonne, my goodness, I marveled. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. I planned to actually go there and have like a facility tour. I couldn't. But one of my colleagues, who's actually a former colleague here on Nigeria Info, Tululokpa Adeleru, she actually went. And when she came back, she was like, Ufuoma, we never start to. Those are words. The facilities, how efficient are going to have this kind of health facility in Nigeria. Those were my thoughts about the month ago. Well, 1 month later, I was part of this groundbreaking ceremony. And hopefully by the next 1 or 2 years, when the first phase is up, here's me thinking the question I asked myself just about a month ago in Doha, I might just have the answer right here. Because a landmark private-public partnership between the Lagos State Government and Yaso Medipark Limited, on Awolowo Road, where you have the old nursing school. Yeah, that place. I'm sure if you pass there now, you'll probably be seeing empty land. But with this plan by Yaso Medipark Limited and the Lagos State Government, we will have a 140-bed multi-specialist hospital. That's one. It'll have a state-of-the-art diagnostic center, and it will also have essential support facilities. That's not all. There will be residential areas for medical personnel. There will be training facilities, and there will be commercial and retail medical spaces. So you most likely have everything you need, from your pharmaceutical shop to anything you need to. If you want to buy food, I'm sure there will most likely be a bank. So it's like a hub where you honestly do not need to step out of the gate. Everything you need will be there. Unfortunately, Nigeria actually has a deficit of over 400,000 bed spaces. So this is more like just throwing a drop of water in an ocean. But I was there with my colleague Nenna Okon, who is here in the studio. And Nenna, before we take a listen to Governor Sanwo-Olu, who spoke at the event, what was your initial reaction, getting to see this gigantic plan by both the Lagos state government and, of course, this consortium called Lagos Medipark Limited?
Okay, so first of all, I think that the location is very strategic, considering the fact that it's just opposite the military hospital, as if you are climbing up, you are driving, connecting to Third Mainland Bridge. So I think that location is very strategic. I also think that, the way it was described, where you're going to have medical facilities, where you would have, other buildings in it, car park and all of that. It just seemed like a village on its own, where people would just have their own
more like
lives.
the hospital I saw at Education City in Doha. So I brought up this story because, like I said, I kept wondering to myself, are we ever going to get to that stage? I did not know that, some people already were planning to have that sort of, medical facility right here in Nigeria. So I will not, maybe in the next 2 years, hopefully Ufuoma is still alive. I pray I should still be alive. I'm not going to be yapping and talking about, what's the name of that hospital, Sidra, in Doha. I'll be talking about the Lagos Medipark right here on
I think that Lagos
Road.
is really doing well in terms of health, because the governor even mentioned that which we all know, they are building a mental health clinic somewhere, and they're also building for a psychiatric
The Massey Children Hospital.
That's even different.
Yeah,
apart
exactly.
From the Massey Children Hospital, there's a home for people with mental cases where they'll be
And I think we need a
attended
lot of that
to.
in Lagos.
I think that
Because nearly everybody in Lagos is crazy. And I say that with all the love in my
Now
heart.
you talk about
Nearly everybody in Lagos is crazy. Let's go on.
Yeah, Nana, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I think that Lagos State, they are really doing very well with regards to health.
Okay, so let's listen to Governor Sanwo-Olu, because, of course, he described the initiative put together by the Wosan Investment and Yaso Media Park special purpose vehicle as laudable. He also urged investors to buy into the project while promising that his administration will throw its full weight behind the project, giving waivers where it is necessary. I think that's the best way to go. Let's take a listen to
For
Governor
all of
Sanwo-Olu.
us to say that, what will we be remembered for? If we cannot, as a people that God has blessed, that your investment has risen, to throw back into what will outlive all of us, then we're not starting yet. This is not just a sustainable infrastructure, it will be a green building. And that's why I'm all clad in green, just for you to know that, I'm already bought and sold into this infrastructural development. And I'm saying it publicly again, if there are still waivers, if there are still things that is required for this to go and to do well, we will give it to you. Because we need to make the clear case. We need to change the narrative. We need to make our environment investor friendly. We need to make our environment be able to compete with whatever environment we find ourselves globally. All of us sitting here, you've all played in various spheres. You've all played both local and globally, and here should not be the difference. My charge to all of us here today is to see that in 2 years' time we're back here to commission the phase 1 of it. And that is what will also gladdens me, as your governor. But more importantly, is to see the Greater Lagos agenda that we're trying to back. I've got less than 3 years, in fact 2.5 years, and there's no third time. So time is running against me. So I want you all to work with us. See us as willing partners, and let us build and develop a city-state that you will truly, really be proud of. Whilst you have looked at their investment, make that decision and make that call. I want to thank NSIA, but there are several other people that can support this investment, that can support this infrastructural development, that can support this medical park as a place of pride and history for all of us. We want to drive fast and see this development go immediately to construction. They've done financial closure. Please let us support them. Let us put everything that we require to make this happen. Because once we've done this, there are several others that we're bringing up. And we're going to. Lagos can take 7, 5, 6 cancer centers. We can take 4 or 5 medical parks of this size. The city is big enough in different parts, and there's enough space for everyone to flourish. Today is about Iwosan. Let us make this a reality. Please, let's join IOSA Consortium. Let's support the Iwosan Investment Limited. Let's see a really partner in Lagos State government, because indeed we're here because you've given us that assurance that you continue to support us, and we will not take your support for granted. This is just one of the several things that we'll be working with you to deliver.
I was Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of the Lagos Medi Park. Let's also let you know, of course, that the CEO of Iwosan Investments and Yaso Medi Park says the initiative demonstrates the government's commitment to its people and also sets a benchmark for what PPPs can achieve in the health sector.
I know what it has taken us to get here, being a culmination of a process that started 4 years ago, and which is on the way to deliver a world-class addition to the healthcare fabric and infrastructure of Lagos State, which has already been started by Mr. Governor and, of course, the Honorable Commissioner seated here. The government has been visionary in conceptualizing a first-of-its-kind medical park, powered by a first-of-its-kind public-private partnership, right here on this ground, which has such a strong legacy of people healing people, as it used to be nursing school and, of course, nursing hostel. I also really want to express our gratitude, first and foremost, to His Excellency Mr. Governor, his entire cabinet, and of course the PPP office. It is especially noteworthy that even though it is privately funded, built and operated, 20% of the hospital beds are reserved for the indigent population of Lagos State. Another key requirement, of course, is Lagos State wants us to ensure that the contribution to medical and nursing skills development, as well as the job creation, which will create up to about 1,000 jobs right here on this site, will be done. I also wanted to say a big thank you to all our investors at Iwosan who are here present, Bank of Industry who have also been a great support, and of course NSIA, the Nigerian Social Investment Authority, and other partners who have already committed to come on this journey with us. The journey of looking after the people of Lagos and indeed Nigeria in a multi-specialist, multi-dimensional medical campus. We believe it's the first of such that we put around Lagos, and in fact will be the prototype for the country.
Fola Lawe, the CEO of Iwosan Investments and Yaso Medi Park SPV. I quite liked, the area she talked about it creating at least 1,000 jobs, and also the fact that 20% of the bed spaces are reserved for Lagos indigents. All right, for Fola Adiola, who's the chairman of Yaso Medi Park, he also says that this Lagos Medi Park is a bold step towards addressing one of the most critical needs of this time, which is the fact that everybody needs to have equitable access to quality health care. And finally, the co-founder of Radical Technology Nigeria Limited, who's also the CEO of AfriConsult Engineers, Tatiana Musali Nori, says the consortium behind the project consists of professionals who are passionate about healthcare. She's also confident that the shared vision of the team will bring a significant milestone in Lagos's healthcare scheme.
Our journey began in March 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic hit Nigeria. A group of us from the Young President Organization, YPO, came to support our community in these challenging times. You might remember the Etiosa Isolation Center that was built on the landmark grounds. An initiative where in just 21 days we designed, built, operated a facility that we ran free of charge for 5 months. This experience bonded many of us, including Falalawi, Niyisu, and led the foundations for what would become the Yaso SPV. In April 2020, Fala reached out to me with an exciting opportunity. again in healthcare while we were in the middle of the isolation center. The Lagos state government, through its public-private partnership office, had issued an expression of interest. Fola reached out to me and said, do you want to embark on this new medical journey with me? And without hesitation, I said yes. Immediately, we started gathering the IASO SPV partners. Today, Iwosa Investments, our lead promoters, led by Fola Laoye, and also the operators of the medical park. We have El Alan, our contractors, led by Andre Jide, Veraki, our business innovation consultant, led by Nii Yusuf, and Nidoye, our real estate advisor, led by Berio Shilaja, and my own company, Radical Technology, handling engineering.
All right, that's of course Tatiana Musalinori speaking right there. Time not so on our side. We're going to wrap the show right here, but it's been great doing it with you guys. I'll be back again next week, Monday. Am I? Yes, next week, Monday is 24th. I'm not sure I'll actually be here. It'll be a day before Christmas, but however it is, guys, have yourselves a wonderful evening on behalf of the production team led by Precious Nena Okon, and of course my producer for today, Yvonne Ohaifu. Stay safe. The newsroom will be back next.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this. When you think of Rex Insurance, think of the resilience of overturning a 4-0 scoreline in injury time. Think of the integrity of frying a bunch of soft golden plantain without tasting any.
Femi, you have tasted more than half of the plantain on the fire.
Think of the efficiency of making a sumptuous plate of afang with just 3,025 naira.
Customer, now 220 naira remain for my hand. I beg, give me periwinkle.
At Rex Insurance, our values of resilience, efficiency, excellence, integrity, and teamwork have remained unwavering since 1918. No matter your business, agriculture, aviation, engineering, general accident, energy, motor and marine, our values and prompt claims payment are your assurance of our commitment to you. Rex Insurance, you're not alone.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 naira airtime and 2,000 naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
Wait, is that Malta Guinness? It's looking different. It even has a red crown.
Yes, same Malta Guinness with a refreshed look and a red crown.
And does it still taste the same?
Of course, same great taste. Why not try it?
Whoa, you are right. Same amazing taste.
Told you, it's the same goodness with a vibrant new look. Grab the all-refreshed Malta Guinness and enjoy a taste of goodness today. Malta Guinness, share goodness every day.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you, but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
Any platform can help you save. But when it comes to investing, you need a partner that you can trust and is committed to helping you achieve your goals. A partner with a global footprint, diversified investment options, and great returns that help you grow. You need RiseVest. RiseVest is your partner for dollar investments like U.S. stocks, U.S. real estate, fixed income, and Naira Savings Vault. Invest with RiseVest to earn interest between 8 to 15% in dollars and up to 25% in Naira. Download the RiseVest app or visit www.risevest.com to start investing. Rise. Investments that help you grow.
Find amazing treats for everyone this holiday with Showmax. Celebrate like a champion with soccer.
Very well taken.
Find your festive inspo with our masters of style.
That's what I'm here for.
Embark on a fun-filled global adventure.
Here we go.
Share your love moments with family and friends.
My son, the most handsome.
And enjoy some truly royal spoils.
I want the power to control what happens in my life.
Only on Showmax, because everyone deserves a holiday treat.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Get breaking news, updates, and the best of talk.
Women have to work twice, even thrice as hard for them to get things that just come so naturally to a lot of men who feel that leadership is their right.
We're in prisons for how many years? For 6 years, 8 months. Were you going to court from prisons then? Yes, but before I started court, it took me 2 years. Just being in prison? Yes. Without your case even start at all? Confinement. You were there? Yeah.
Here on your number one station for talk, 99.3. Can I have your attention, please?
The news, information, and the right conversation are here on Nigeria Info.
How many this type of wicked attack has affected in the other part of this country? So that's what we did for ourselves.
I'm not supporting stealing, but these politicians need to be taught a lesson.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You are listening to the number one station of the year. Lagos' number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you, ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all. How could you wait for me?
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. To our YouTube channel at Nigeria FM. Because our face Nigeria Phone Time. Follow on Twitter, Nigeria FM, and at Nigeria